You probably think Texas's deadliest animal is a rattlesnake, or maybe a shark. Both would be wrong. Hidden across the Lone Star State are venomous hunters and silent killers that most people walk past without ever noticing. And by the time you learn which animal claims the most lives, you'll realize the greatest danger in Texas was never the one you were watching for. Texas is enormous, more than 268,000 square miles, the second largest state in America, and thousands of miles of rivers all hide animals built to survive in them. Number 1. Coral snake. At first glance, the coral snake doesn't look especially dangerous. It rarely grows past 3 feet, and unlike a rattlesnake, it gives almost no warning before defending itself. Instead, it relies on being overlooked, spending most of its life hidden under leaves and rotting logs in the state's eastern forests. Its bright bands of red, yellow, and black closely resemble several harmless species, and the old color rhymes people use to tell them apart aren't always reliable. Lighting and faded color can fool anyone. The safest rule is simpler. If you're not certain, leave it alone. Its venom is neurotoxic, attacking the nervous system rather than tissue, and without treatment it can eventually affect breathing. Bites are rare. Coral snakes are shy and usually try to flee first. At number 10. Black widow spider. You don't need the wilderness to meet this one. It may already be living in your garage, your shed, or under your porch furniture. Black widows have adapted well to human spaces, wood piles, storage boxes, fence posts, garden equipment. Most people never realize they're sharing the space until they disturb one. The female is easy to identify, glossy black, with a famous red hourglass beneath her abdomen. Males are smaller and rarely a concern despite the reputation. Black widows aren't aggressive. They bite almost exclusively in self-defense, usually when someone reaches into a dark space without looking. The bite itself can feel like nothing more than a pinprick, but within an hour, real symptoms arrive. Muscle cramps, abdominal pain, sweating, nausea. Healthy adults typically recover with treatment, though children and older adults face greater risk. Deaths today are rare. The pain isn't. Many victims call it one of the worst they've ever felt. Number 9. Copperhead. If camouflage were a weapon, the copperhead would be one of the state's best armed animals. Its hourglass markings blend so seamlessly into the forest floor that even experienced hikers have stepped within inches without noticing. That's exactly why it causes more venomous bites than almost any other Texas snake. Not aggression, just invisibility. Its first defense isn't striking, it's staying hidden. Only when that fails does it bite. Copperheads are common across eastern and central Texas. Forests, creek beds, and even suburban yards bordering natural habitat. The venom is rarely fatal, but the bite is far from minor. Burning pain, severe swelling, and tissue damage that often lands victims in the hospital. Every year, Texas emergency rooms treat copperhead bites from hikers. Number 8. Feral hog. These aren't oversized farm animals. Texas has the largest feral hog population in the country, well over 2 million, spread across nearly every county. Descended from domestic pigs and Eurasian boar. They tear up crops, destroy fences, and cause hundreds of millions of dollars in damage every year. But the real danger is physical. Large boars can top 300 pounds, protected by dense muscle and cartilage, armed with tusks that sharpen themselves every time the jaw closes. Most hogs avoid people, but a cornered one, or sow protecting piglets, can charge at nearly 30 miles per hour with almost no warning, causing deep lacerations and broken bones. Wildlife officials recommend giving them plenty of space and never feeding them, because unlike most predators, feral hogs don't always back down. We've covered forests, fields, and backyards. Now the countdown moves into the water. A venomous predator surrounded by myths, feared across Texas lakes and swamps. Number 7. Cottonmouth. Water moccasin. Few Texas animals carry a reputation as intimidating as the cottonmouth. That it chases people, attacks boats, even drops from trees. Most of that is myth. The truth is dangerous enough on its own. Also called the water moccasin, it's the only semi-aquatic venomous pit viper in North America, found through swamps, marshes, and slow rivers across eastern Texas. Unlike snakes that flee, cottonmouths often stand their ground, opening their mouths to reveal a bright white interior. Not an attack, but a final warning. Bites usually happen when people misread that warning warning and move closer instead of backing away. The venom damages tissue and blood cells and interferes with clotting. Number 6. Brown recluse spider. The brown recluse is one of America's most feared spiders, and its reputation is part fact, part exaggeration. These small, secretive spiders favor dark, undisturbed places, closets, attics, storage boxes, shoes left untouched for weeks. They avoid people whenever possible. Most bites happen when one gets trapped against skin inside clothing or bedding, and the victim never even knew it was there, unlike a black widow, whose venom attacks the nervous system. A brown recluse's venom attacks tissue. Many bites stay mild, but others worsen over days and, in rare cases, need surgery. The biggest danger is that the bite often goes unnoticed until real pain develops hours later, which is why doctors recommend getting any suspected bite checked. Confirmed bites are less common than people assume. The lesson isn't fear. It's a habit. Shake out boots. Check gloves. Inspect old boxes before reaching in. Number 5. American alligator. Alligators have survived on this continent for more than 80 million years, long before Texas existed. Today, they inhabit rivers, bayous, and coastal wetlands across the eastern part of the state, and decades of conservation work turned a struggling population into one of America's great wildlife recovery stories. That success means people and alligators now cross paths more than ever. Adult males routinely top 11 feet, and despite their size, they move with surprising silence. Most of the animal stays hidden beneath the water until it strikes. Contrary to the movies, alligators don't hunt people, and most encounters end without incident. The real danger begins when humans feed them. Once an alligator loses its fear of people, it stops behaving like a wild animal, which is why Texas Parks and Wildlife strongly warns against feeding them. Number 4. Mountain lion. If you've spent years in Texas and never seen a mountain lion, that's by design. They're among the most elusive predators in North America, living mainly in the mountains and deserts of West Texas. Though young males can roam over 100 square miles searching for territory, everything about them is built for stealth. Soft feet, powerful legs, sharp night vision, and enormous patience. Rather than chase prey, they stalk in silence and strike from a few feet away. Confirmed attacks in Texas are exceptionally rare, and most mountain lions avoid people entirely. Still, experts advise standing tall, holding eye contact, speaking firmly, and never running. Running can trigger the instinct to chase. The most unsettling fact about mountain lions may be this: many sightings never happen, not because the animal wasn't there, but because no one realized they were being watched. We've reached the final 3. From here on, every animal has the power to kill. One rules the desert, another patrols the Gulf and freshwater rivers, and waiting at number 1 is a creature responsible for more deaths than every other animal on this list combined. Number 3. Western diamondback rattlesnake. If one animal defines Texas in people's minds, it's the rattlesnake, and no species fits that reputation better than the western diamondback. Found across deserts, grasslands, and brush country statewide, it causes more venomous bites than any other rattlesnake species, not because it hunts people, but because people wander into its space. Its rattle is one of nature's most recognizable warnings, evolved to prevent conflict rather than start it. The snake would rather scare you off than waste its venom. Not everyone listens. Some try to kill it or pick it up for photos. Most victims simply never noticed it until they were too close. Its venom combines hemotoxins and enzymes that damage tissue and blood vessels and interfere with clotting. Antivenom has dramatically improved survival, but recovery can still mean weeks of pain and, in severe cases, permanent damage. Camouflage venom, and a clear warning if you're paying attention. The western diamondback is everything dangerous about Texas wildlife in a single animal. Number 2. Bull shark. Most people picture sharks in deep ocean water. Bull sharks break that rule. One of the few species able to survive in freshwater. They travel from the Gulf into rivers, bays, and coastal waterways, sometimes dozens of miles inland. You don't need to swim in the ocean to encounter one. Heavily built and remarkably adaptable, bull sharks rank among the species most often involved in unprovoked attacks worldwide. Attacks in Texas remain uncommon, and millions safely enjoy the state's beaches every year, but officials still advise avoiding murky water. baitfish schools, and fishing activity, especially around dawn and dusk, when many aquatic predators are most active. Number 1. Mosquito. After the snakes, the spiders, the giant predators, and the shark, the deadliest animal hiding in Texas weighs less than a paperclip. Every summer, billions of mosquitoes emerge across the state. Most bites are nothing more than an itch, but a small percentage carry something far more dangerous than venom. Disease. The biggest threat is West Nile virus, which has infected thousands of Texans and caused numerous deaths since arriving in the early 2000s. Most infections stay mild, but some develop into severe neurological illness, meningitis, encephalitis, especially in older adults and people with weakened immune systems, where the outcome can be life-changing or fatal. Unlike everything else on this list, the mosquito doesn't rely on strength, intimidation, or camouflage. It relies on numbers, breeding in flower pots, old tires, gutters, even a bottle cap of rainwater. You rarely notice just one. You notice the millions, and together, they've claimed more human lives than every predator on this countdown combined. At the start of this video, we asked you to picture Texas's deadliest animal. Most people imagine fangs. Respect the wild, and remember, nature always has another secret waiting just beyond the trail.